So let me go back to the sanctions issue and focus you on the fact that the people that are supposed to be targeted by sanctions don't usually get hit by sanctions. The people that get hit by sanctions is the common man on the street. And right now, that common man is suffering. The people that are supposed to be suffering from sanctions are not suffering. The other point is that the sanctions are actually good for a lot of people in the ZANU-PF hierarchy that benefit from that. The common man doesn't help. So what I'm putting across to you is that sanctions are actually helping ZANU-PF solidify and hurting the common people. And if the Americans were interested in the human rights and the well-being of Zimbabweans, the sanctions ought to be removed to help the common people and disadvantage those that are in power. What's your response to that?
If the government of Zimbabwe were truly interested in the issue of sanctions and considered this a major problem, rather than having a rally, what the government of Zimbabwe would do was make a chart of what the things that the international community is asking it to do, and then come with an argument saying, we have addressed the concerns that you have here. You, in multiple meetings with my boss, Ambassador Tibor Naj, Assistant Secretary of State for African Affairs, he asked the President Mnangagwa for repeal of POSA and IEPA. Neither of those things have happened. MOPA has been passed, but as far as I know, it hasn't been signed. There has not been action taken to repeal IEPA yet. I know that there's some analysis out there looking at it, but those are concrete things that over a year ago, in September of 2018, my government asked the government of Zimbabwe to do, and these are things that are totally in line with the campaign promises that the president of Zimbabwe ran on. These are changes that are totally in line with the Constitution of 2013, which is a beautiful document and enshrines universal values. The issue, again, of what the effect of international restrictive measures, including sanctions, are on the average person in Zimbabwe, I do not accept the argument that those are having an effect on average people. The 141 persons and entities who are covered do face real restrictions and challenges. If it didn't bother them at all and it made them happier and richer, they would be not having an anti-sanctions day on October 25th. They would be having a thank you for sanctions day on October 25th. So that argument doesn't...
Optics.
They feel bad about it because people are saying you're doing bad things. If you don't want people to say bad things about you, maybe don't do bad things. So, this is an area where the government of Zimbabwe is fully in control of its future. It can take on the reforms that it's already promised to do, implement them, and the hand of friendship remains extended by my government and other Western governments that have similar policies. We want Zimbabwe to succeed. We gave this government a vote of confidence. Look at what we said and did from November 2017 until after the election. We gave this government every benefit of the doubt to carry out reforms. After the violence of August 1, obviously we expressed our concerns, but we gave the Motlanthe Commission time to work. We have met with senior officials in this government repeatedly to talk about our shared concerns, and we've asked them to move forward with the reforms that they promised that they were going to carry out. And that progress has been very slow. The legislative agenda that the president put forward hasn't moved.
Ambassador, would the MDC and ZANU-PF delegation coming to you and saying, we agreed that sanctions must go, would that change anything?
It's not a rhetorical issue. It's not just them coming and saying, okay, we don't need sanctions. We would say, what have you done to promote free, fair, transparent elections? What have you done to address the human rights concerns? What have you done with regard to the SADC Tribunal rulings of 2007 forward with regard to what we might euphemistically call the fast-track land reform program? What have you done with the disappeared people that are specifically cited in the Zadera legislation? Have you taken any steps to address the underlying concerns that we have? That would be our answer.